So, welcome to the team call, guys. We are so excited today to have the honor and pleasure of having Brooke Orchard speak on our team call. So, Brooke and I actually met on the Bahamas cruise back in March. Lindsay Vice introduced us, and we both are ex-gymnasts, so we kind of bonded over that, and then realized that we had quite similar energy, despite obviously living in completely different countries. So we've kind of connected a bit since then, haven't we, Brooke? So I'm so excited to introduce Brooke. I'm literally reading because there's quite a lot that Brooke has done in her beach career. So Brooke is currently an 11-star diamond coach. She got recognized on the stage at Summit for being a new 10-star diamond. So she was 2019 elite. She is a Success Club all-star legend, and she's 2 times she's been within the top 50 within the network. So whatever it is Brooke's doing, we want to know. So Brooke, and if you don't mind, just as is kind of the general consensus with these calls, just telling us a little bit about your story to start with. I think that just really helps a lot of us just get the context and everything else. And yeah, I'll let you just fire away and off you go.
Heck yes. Sounds good. Thanks, Izzy. So yeah, I'm really excited for this call, you guys, because as of 6 months ago, I've been implementing what I'm going to tell you. Before 6 months ago, wasn't doing any of it. So the last 6 months have been game changing in my business, and my income has been growing a lot because of that. So anyways, we'll talk about all that stuff, but I want to tell you a little bit about who I am and kind of give you some backstory, because I want you to take away from this call that if I can do this business, you can too. That's kind of my mantra. And actually I was up on stage at Summit, maybe you were there, in front of 23,000 or 20,000 coaches, talking up on stage with Veronica Cavalcante and Heather Shipley. Thank you. My husband's bringing me water. Thank you. And basically, they wanted us to go up there and tell our stories so that people in the audience could see us and be like, wow, they have a crazy life. If they can do this, we can do it too. So I'm a mom of 2 young kids. My son is a little over 3, and my daughter is going to be 2 in January. And I've been married for 5 years as of last week and living in Arizona. I used to be a speech therapist full time. I used to work in the skilled nursing facility setting. So I worked with a lot of the elderly, after strokes, those who have dementia. I worked a lot with cognition and swallowing therapy. Loved my job. But to take you way back, I'll kind of keep my story short and sweet. There's a lot of moving parts to it, but I want to bring you way back. I started Beachbody, the lifestyle, in 2011, and I discovered P90X, didn't even know it was Beachbody, and I actually posted my before and after pictures not knowing that coaching even existed on Facebook. And this random girl said I should be a coach. She messaged me out of the blue, and I was like, this is probably a scam. No, thank you. I was super nice about it, but I said no thanks, because I thought, what is coaching? What is Beachbody? What? So, but then a month later, one of my girlfriends and my current upline coach messaged me, and she said, Brooke, you should do this coaching thing. And I jumped in because I knew her. I trusted her. I had a relationship with her. So I jumped in and killed it for 3 months. But then I fizzled out. I don't even remember quitting. I don't remember letting my account just terminate. I don't remember what happened, but I threw it in the trash can as if it was nothing. And I said I was busy. I had just started grad school. I was getting my master's in speech language pathology. I was in an unhealthy relationship with a guy that I lived with. And I was waitressing basically full time from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. And I would do that after a long day of classes. And so in my mind, I was too busy, and my unhealthy relationship should get my focus. So that's where my focus went. And I just fizzled out. So insert 2 years later, within those 2 years, I was basically Beachbody's naysayer. I still did the workouts, but I was like, screw coaching. I'm never going to do that again. Shakeology is so gross, even though I made it 2 times. And the 2 times I made it, I made them wrong. I had 20 ice cubes and 3 ounces of water and a scoop of chocolate Shakeology. Oh yeah, that's delicious. So during those 2 years, I tried 3 different other companies' shakes. Chemical shitstorm is what I call them. I'm not going to name companies, but that's what I did. And I just wasn't health conscious. I didn't do my research. I was all about pain low cost because I was a broke college student. You get what you pay for, but I didn't think like that, or I didn't even care. And, but my life changed drastically in those 2 years. So I broke up with that guy. I had lived with him for 1.5 years. We dated for 4 years, thought I was going to marry that guy. So when that ended, my world like crumbled because my self-worth was always in a guy. And that ended. So did my world. And I so badly regret quitting on this opportunity because I could have leaned in to this opportunity and this community and helped me financially through that time too, but I didn't have it anymore. So I moved to Arizona 1 year later. I was dating my now husband at the time and moved down here to be with him, and started speech therapy down here, full time. I got married and life was great, but I soon realized that I don't know if I could keep up with this life. When I was working speech therapy, I got paid hourly. So if the work was there, I got paid. If the work wasn't there, I didn't get paid. And I thought ahead for when I was a mom someday. And I thought, how can I keep up with this life? Like, I'm either working all the time and would be spending a lot of time away from them, or not working hardly at all and not being able to pay the bills. And I was $50,000 in student loan debt, $2,000 of credit card debt. The day of our wedding, my husband was unemployed, and we were living paycheck to paycheck when we started, when I started Beachbody again in 2014. It's like all these stars aligned. When I had moved down here, I had no friends. So I had no friends. I was super inconsistent with my health and fitness, like on for 2 weeks, off for 2 weeks, and just broke anyways, living paycheck to paycheck, and then had that crippling debt. And my debt might not be as bad as some of yours, but $50,000, that's a lot of money when you're trying to pay all that off with your full-time job. Like, it's just not going to happen in a timely fashion. And so, yeah, it was like mentally, physically, and financially, like I needed this opportunity again. And I remember crying to my husband in our master bedroom in our condo and just saying, like, I feel like there's more to life than this. Like, I was living the rat race, going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home. And I missed being a part of something like gymnastics. I was in gymnastics my whole life. Like, I missed being a part of a team. I'm very competitive. So I just felt like I was missing a little something in my life. There was a definite void there. And I had watched my previous upline coach, and she was still in Beachbody, paying off her dental school debt while in dental school, being a part of her amazing challenge groups, which weren't a thing when I started back in 2011, 2012. And during those 2 years, I was super annoyed with her, jealous. And then I became open-minded because I realized 2 years later that I needed this back in my life. So jumped back in 2014, never looked back. I was super afraid of what people were going to think about me because of being not only quitting, but being the biggest naysayer of this opportunity that I was jumping back into. Like, who would join that girl? Like, that's what I thought to myself. Like, I must be really stupid to try this again. But I didn't care. I didn't care what people thought about me. I did for a split second, but I got over it really quickly. I cared about the social media thing. I never posted on social media besides my cats. So, I didn't know how to post. And I was busy as a speech therapist, so the time thing was a nerve-wracking thing for me, but I didn't care. I cannonballed into this opportunity. I didn't look back. I knew that I would take the out if I had the out on the table. If I had the word quitting on the table, I would have quit. But I dove in, never looked back, and 2 years later, 1 year and 8 months later, paid off my $50,000 of student loan debt with Beachbody. Of course, I have to enter in the income disclaimer, not because I have to, but because I believe in that. Like, you have to work hard to make money in this. And 2 years after, I was a brand new mom, and I was able to pull back to PRN status as a speech therapist and then quit it completely and started to make 6 figures in the business 2 to 2.5 years in. So that's kind of my life. Leading up to this point, like, I've been a full-time Beachbody coach for the last 2.5 years now. Most of this business I built while pregnant and while breastfeeding from the couch with my phone with my thumb. More than half of my business was built that way. Every life experience and obstacle I've ever run into, like having E. coli for 2 weeks last year. Remember that outbreak last year? I was one of those like 200 people that had that E. coli outbreak. It was awful, you guys, but I was building my business while I was on the toilet for 2 weeks. Like, I just don't believe in excuses. I'm a very like tough love, empowering, no excuses kind of person. I do know how to like rest and reflect and take a breather, but I don't believe in like, oh, I'm sick. Oh, I'm going to take a break from my business. No, like you walk with your business versus running with it for that week, right? Like you don't take your foot off the gas. So I'm like a huge believer in that. I like preach that to my girls. They don't always listen, but I attract the right people, you know, like the right people take that advice. So, but let's kind of dive into things. I'm seeing the chat not in this for the short term. Cool. Yeah, if you guys want to put any questions in the chat thread, I'll just like run through everything. I have a little PowerPoint and a couple notes on the side because I made this PowerPoint like 4 months ago, but then I have a couple of things that I've added in over the course of time, but it's pretty much the same. So I'll read those after I share this with you. So I'm gonna share my screen. You guys see this okay? Can you see it?
Yeah, you're all good. Perfect.
Okay, cool, awesome. Okay, this is a loaded topic, so your brain's probably gonna explode. This is not really something that Beachbody is talking about right now. Like I said, 6 months ago, this was not something that I was doing, like over 6 months ago. The past 6 months, I've been doing what I'm about to show you. And I know I said this before Izzy pressed recording, but I want to make sure the people who are watching the recording hear this, that this call is perfect for anybody. It's not perfect for diamonds and beyond. It's perfect for emeralds. It's perfect for a person just starting out with this business. So because I'm going to like show you how to build this business, and you're going to do this with Izzy, and you're going to do this with your upline coach if Izzy isn't your upline coach, or maybe you'll do it all together. So I'll show you. So basically, what I'm going to talk about is like how to develop yourself as a leader so that you can mentor other people to become leaders. And those things happen at the same time. It's not like you like have to develop yourself first as a leader and then you can create this amazing team. I did it all at the same time. I think it's important to kind of give you my timeline of events so that you guys can kind of see how my business unfolded. But I did not sign my spouse up until 3 months into the business. Don't make that mistake. Sign them up now. And I hit diamond in 5 months. But I just want to like say that it took me 5 months because my team page, the trainings was kind of all over the place. I learned from YouTube. So that's why whenever coaches say like, my upline coach is not there, or my upline coach, I'm not getting the support, I'm like, that's what YouTube is for. That's what the Coach FAQ is for. That's what Google is for. That's what the Beachbody Champions page is for. They're your virtual upline. Get after it, you know, because I did not really have a business building upline. I still don't. She's always been kind of like a hobby coach. I've never been mentored by her. Like maybe the first couple of weeks of my business I was, like as I was starting out, but beyond that, I never had three-way calls, like one-on-one mentorship calls. I never had that. So everything that I've ever created is my own. Like I've created it. And all I did was not reinvent the wheel. I took my upline stuff and I kind of like tweaked it to make it mine, but didn't really change it much. So like in my new coach training, it's not me. You'll see maybe one video of me, but the rest of that is like Christina Solins, Christine Dwyer. They're my upline coach. But I've never worked with them one-on-one because they're like a few levels up. So, but I've taken their stuff, you know, and I've put that in my training. So don't reinvent the wheel. That's my biggest tip. Like, don't reinvent the wheel. Network marketing, the whole purpose of it is for it to be simple and duplicatable that you can use and your coaches can use and their coaches' coaches. And so there's not much that you have to do as a leader, but I'm going to show you like what you do have to do. So, I love this quote. It's not what you need to do, it's who you need to become. And when I read the book, Build to Last by Keith Callahan, that book changed everything for me because I realized that I wasn't being the person that was worthy of like having people who were going to create anything. Like I created a large team, but I didn't really, you know, create leaders. I hit diamond in 5 months, 2-star diamond in, what was that, year and a half? And then 5-star, that was 2 years in, 18 months to 2 years. And then I was plateaued as a 4-star all of last year, 2018. And that, like, all of last year, you guys, I was breastfeeding from the couch every 2 to 3 hours, all of 2018. And I was stuck at 4-star from January 2018 to October 2018. I showed up every day and I did the most important things, inviting, like, the 4 vital behaviors, posting on social media, following up. Like, those were my main things. I did the other things, but it wasn't as consistent, right? Because I was in survival mode. I knew that I just needed to do the most important things that was going to drive my business forward. And what do you know? October 2018 hit 8-star, 9-star, 10-star, 11-star into the spring of 2019. So everything that I did during 2018 did not pay off until 9 months to 12 to 18 months later. Like, how many times can I say that? Oh my gosh. I know that doesn't really have a lot, it seems like it doesn't have a lot to do with, like, all of this, but it totally does. I mean, look at everything on this slide. It's all mindset, right? Like, if I didn't have the right mindset last year, like, if I didn't cultivate the mindset of, well, I'm probably walking a lot this year, but it didn't matter. I still created a large team. I had diamonds popping at the end of last year because I just kept the right mindset. This, like, developing yourself as a leader and, like, developing leaders is 95% mindset and 5% doing. And it's going to take you about 2 to 5 years to really create that life where you are, like, financially free, where you kind of forget that it's payday. That's the point that I'm at right now. But it took me, like, 4 years, 4.5 to 5 years to really create that solid, stable income, because my people are creating stable foundations now, but they weren't before. And it starts with belief. If you guys have not heard about the success cycle, I don't know if Tony Robbins made this up, but I learned this last fall, a year ago. And I went to his convention and he talked about this. I think it was Tony Robbins or someone else there, but they talked about how, like, you have to have belief in yourself and the opportunity in order to tap into your full potential. And because you tap into your full potential and you have that belief 100%, you take massive action because you come from this, like, different energy source and this confidence, and you have a different posture and energy about yourself. And because of that massive action taking, backed up by all that, you, like, get massive results. And what does that do to your belief? It adds a pebble to your pile with that. And so around and around it goes, right? Like, the more results you get, the more belief you get and the more confidence, which then results into more tapped potential, more action taking, more massive results, and around it goes. So people get more poor and people get more rich based off this model. Notice how, if you picture the opposite of that, you don't tap into your belief and your full potential, you take shitty action and you get shitty results. And what does the shitty results do? Gives you poor belief. It makes you doubt yourself, doubt the process. And what does that do? It keeps going and going around and around. It's a negative cycle, kind of like our marriage, right? Or a relationship. If you're in a negative cycle, you notice that it gets worse and worse. Like, you feel like you're on the crazy train until you, like, stop it in its tracks. Like, me and my husband go to counseling every 3 weeks so that we can know how to identify where we get stuck in that negative cycle so that we can change it into a positive one. And, like, how to communicate better and how to deal with each other better and, you know, how to identify those things. That's the same thing with your business. And until you get in that positive cycle, you're not going to attract anyone who wants to join you because they can sense that cycle a million miles away. It's like this contagious magnetic energy, or the opposite of that if it's in the negative cycle, you know? I can't talk about that enough. Some people look at that and they're like, what does that have to do with leadership? It has everything to do with leadership. And you being consistent with those vital behaviors, not because of your results, but because of the passion and the energy and the connection that you feel within your business when you do them. Notice when you're not consistent with your vital behaviors, you feel this, like, disconnect. Right? Like, who else has felt that? I know that I've felt that in the past. And whenever I'm feeling like a lack of passion or any uncertainty or doubts, I reflect and I think, well, Brooke, did you skip your personal development this week? Yup. Did you only do 2 out of 7 workouts? Yup. Like, no wonder why you're feeling disconnected. And it's not about perfection, but it's about like doing more of it than not, because it absolutely makes a difference with your energy. I think you're kind of understanding by now that like when I say energy, like it has to be that of confidence, of belief, of excitement. That is so like compelling to people. What's that quote? Like, set yourself on fire and the world will watch you burn. Like, that is this business. Like, Izzy does a great job with posturing herself mentally and physically as a leader, as a person who is helping other people create a business, who, like, it's not just about health and fitness. It's not just about challenge groups. It's about helping other people create an income too. And even if you have no coaches on your team, you have to tell yourself that you have a huge team, that you are a 10-star diamond or 5-star diamond or 15-star diamond, whatever your goals are. You like have to breathe that into existence and like believe that it's happened in order for it to happen. And then you have to really dial in on a personal development plan for yourself. I tell my girls, if you want to build a successful business with this and be a leader and create leaders, you have to do leadership personal development, network marketing personal development, the art of conversation personal development, how to connect with people personal development, self-confidence. Rachel Hollis, love her. But to build a network marketing business, it takes a different skill set. My girls like know that I call that personal development fluffy personal development. It's great. That is an absolute important thing. If you struggle with confidence, absolutely, you got to tap into that, but that's a secondary personal development. Your primary personal development needs to be like leadership, network marketing, how to connect with people, and the art of conversations. Before I forget, I know I'm probably going to forget this, but so I'm going to say it now. I have all my girls send me their wording, their conversations, because everyone sucks at conversations. 90% of a person's struggle is in conversations. That's a complete side note, but I don't have it on my notes and I'll forget to say it. So like I have my girls send me screenshots, screen recordings of their conversations. And I'm like, here's what you ask now. Here's what you say now. Here's what you could have said differently. Here's what you could have asked differently. If you're new and you don't know what that looks like, talk to Izzy, talk to your upline coach. That's what they're there for. Does that make sense? The personal development plan, just make sure that it is dialing in your weaknesses, making them stronger. Don't do self-confidence, personal development if you don't struggle with that. I've never struggled with that, so I would never do that kind of stuff, you know, because it would just be kind of a waste of my time. Let's see. Okay. So, oh my gosh, then versus now. This is so wildly different now. The way I work my business versus the way I did it before, it's kind of mind-blowing. And obviously, like, you still have to do challenge group driven stuff. The challenge groups are the bread and butter of our business, but I used to solely invite to challenge groups and not coaching. I would like never really invite to coaching. Very rarely. And so I wondered, like, why don't I get any business builders? Why don't I get anyone who wants to work the business? Because I wasn't ever inviting to that. I like relied on my challenge groups. Like, people had to get results first and then they could become a coach. Oh my gosh. Like, that's so not needed. So now I lead with the business. Now, like, if someone behind the scenes is like I'm getting to know them and I know that they like hate their job, but they want to join my challenge group, I'm going to be like, yeah, we'll talk about the challenge group. Like, that's going to be a natural byproduct, but let's talk about how much you hate your job. And let's talk about like how coaching could be fitting into your life right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always thinking, like, how can I plant the seed of coaching? How can they become a coach? Like, why would they need this? Why would they be great, right? Like, blow that up. Since you mentioned that you hate your job, you would love this. Share someone's story, share my story, share your story. Like, share a story and then like invite them to this amazing opportunity. You know, maybe their personality is the bomb.com. Be like, girlfriend, you'd be so natural at this. Like, you're just this contagious magnet already. You know, like, you have this warmth about you. You would be an amazing coach. You know, like, you wouldn't say that to a person who's super negative and really cold. So just lead with what's in it for them. And I used to hold people's hands so much so that it would like burn me out. I was like trying to save people. I was trying to fix people. I was trying to like push people to do things that they didn't even want to do. Like I wanted it more than they wanted it. It was just not good all around. So now I guide people and I mentor people. I'm not their mother, I am their mentor. I don't micromanage, I mentor them. I do not push people to do what they want to do. If people decide to change from a runner to a walker, I meet them where they're at. Meet people where they are at. Love them where they are at. They will have more success there than if you try to force someone to run when they want to walk. Oh my gosh, I scared a lot of people away because I thought my success in this business was because everyone was going to want to run. No, like your volume and your income will be best when you meet people where they are at. Oh my goodness. I used to tell people what to do. Like I said earlier, like a hot second ago, I like show people how to do conversations. Here's what to ask. Here's what to say next. Send me their response and I'll help you like figure out what question to ask them next. Like I'm literally like locking arms with them, holding their hands and showing them the process. Because when you tell someone something, like they don't get it. Similar to how like when I get on a GSR call with someone, my coaches have to watch me do that. Like I will go live in my team page when I'm doing a coach prospect call, when I'm doing a GSR call. I will let people hop on that call and watch because people have to see my passion and my energy. People have to see how I ask questions. You can't really get that from just telling someone how to do this business or like seeing a template on how to do it. That helps, but it doesn't give the whole picture. So I model and I example hardcore. And I used to not focus on deep relationships. I did more so with my prospects, but not really my coaches. And I'm a firm believer that like you really have to be like a mentor first and a friend a very close second. You can't be like a hardcore friend and not a mentor because that's doing a disservice to your people. But like you don't want the friendship to be way down here because then people just, you don't have that like tribe feel, that team feel, the friendship feel. And that's honestly a reason, like probably one of the biggest reasons why people will stick around for you and see it out. I can think of numerous girls right now that would have quit months ago if I had not built that relationship and that friendship with them. Like I can think of one girl, especially off the top of my head, and I'm not going to say her name on here because she might listen to the recording, but I know without a doubt she would have quit a long time ago. She's not doing well with her business. She's walking with her business, crawling, but at least she's here. At least she's focusing on her health and fitness journey, you know? So just really focus on those friendships. Another then versus now, I've had a lot of failing forward moments, a lot of like learning lessons in this business. And that's what leadership is. Like you're going to make a lot of mistakes. And I probably made more of them because I did not have an upline coach to model with me. I learned a lot from training videos, which is good, but you know, you learn things a lot slower in this business versus when you're like being helped by someone one-on-one. So that's what you're going to be with your people. You're like going to help them. I used to be more rank focused and Success Club focused. I still hit Success Club every month. More so now because as an elite coach, you get a $500 bonus if you hit Success Club, but that's not my focus. Success Club is merely a byproduct of me just helping meet people where they are at when they get started. And it just so happens to be that challenge packs are the best fit, but I never just do a challenge pack. I always add on 3 add-on products, and I shared Izzy my script I use with that, so you don't push that on people. It's said in a very like, take it or leave it way. Here's why I feel like it'd be great for you. Here's why I love it. And usually people will go with that, and that's really good for your volume. But I used to be purely Success Club driven, purely challenge pack driven. I used to be all in with the challenge pack or nothing. I used to say, you have to have Shakeology to be in my challenge groups. That is the biggest retention and volume killer ever. And you know, if some of you do that, that's okay, but you'll probably learn over time that your volume is suffering and your volume never really grows. My volume is growing now because I am not Success Club focused. I am okay with having someone in my challenge group if they even just get energized, because they're gonna see everyone else in my ongoing virtual gym, loving other products. And I always have people tack on other things. I had a coach start the other day with a 3-month bod because that's all she could afford. Where before I was like, challenge pack or bust, baby. Follow up with you next month. Like, just get them in the door. Let them fall in love with Beachbody. And now she's going to get energized because she's seen other people in the group getting energized. She knows I love it. And she's like, man, I'm really struggling with my energy. Like, and I don't want to drink more coffee. And I'm like, energize. So like, and that's going to be great for her active status, you know? I mean, just think of it that way. I beat myself up for so long about that, but once I made the switch, my volume grew a lot. I used to focus on 15-star diamond. I used to want to be a 15-star diamond because I wasn't educated on the comp plan. I didn't realize that like being a 10-star and beyond, like an 11-star, 12-star, 13-star, 14-star, 15-star, you don't make more. The only good thing about a 15-star is the recognition and the quarterly bonuses. So grow deep. That's another thing like that I'll talk about too. Like the whole purpose of this business is growing deep, not recruiting a crap ton of people and not developing them. Picture this table right here. Like you have people to sit down at your table, you're serving them dinner. You serve the people that are at your table, right? You don't go out on the street and bang your pots and pans trying to get more people to your table and not serving your hungry people at the table. That's how I picture leadership. That's what I do with my business builders. If I have hungry people wanting to build this business, I need to recruit still, absolutely, that's important. But like, it's not all about being a recruiting machine and being solely in phase 1. It's about doing that, but also like developing your leaders, developing your business builders into leaders. I know this is kind of maybe hard for a lot of you to understand because Beachbody does not really teach this stuff. Beachbody is gonna do what's best for them. We have to do what's best for us, you know? So I'm all about teaching my girls like how to make good money in this. And that is being volume focused. Yes, rank matters too, but volume is very, very important and helping your people develop their volume. To give you another example, I'm all about stories because I feel like that really drives things home along with analogies. As a 10-star diamond, I'm a 9-star right now. So I'm an 11-star lifetime diamond, 9-star like current. I have a lot of girls who like, I mean, they just can't get their crap together with their diamond rank. I don't care about that right now because they're not even making $100 per week with Team Cycle bonus. So I'm like, you guys, as much as I would love that 10-star quarterly bonus, I care about you. We need to get your volume up. We need to get your weak leg volume to match closer to your strong leg. And diamond will come as a natural byproduct, much like Success Club is happening as a natural byproduct by me not focusing on it anymore. Same thing with girls' diamond ranks. Volume needs to be focused, and then diamond is like a close second. So in this moment, I am not really focused on my girls like getting their diamond rank back to benefit me. I know that I'm going to be benefited as a natural byproduct when they build their volume, and they'll get back to diamonds and I'll be a 10-star again and I'll get that quarterly bonus, but everyone wins when you focus on volume and you help your people grow their volume and not be so rank focused, like 15-star focused. If you look at the comp plan, the actual PDF, you'll see what I mean. Where it says 10 to 15-star diamonds, the cap is the same with how much you make with Team Cycle bonus. Just check it out. You'll see what I mean. So it's very hard to get 15 people to have their crap together at the same time. And knowing that and seeing that and feeling that firsthand, now I'm growing my business a lot differently. That's a whole other call for another day of like what that looks like how to really grow deep, but the focus is volume and rank too, but mainly volume. And then I used to just focus on my personally sponsored coaches only. I never dug deep into my downline. I never helped anyone below my personally sponsored coaches. I never built relationships with them. That was really good for retention, I'm sure, as you could imagine. Yeah, don't do that. Work with the working, work with anyone who is wanting to take this thing and run with it. Yeah, dig deep into your downline. Picture you digging deep into your downline as like these deep roots. When you do that with your coaches' coaches and their coaches' coaches, like you're not only like modeling that to your coaches, but your coaches' coaches are seeing that. And then they're able to extend down. And before you know it, like they don't really need you anymore because you set the tone for creating that depth and like showing and modeling how this business is done so that your coaches' coaches create teams. That is true success in this business. If you have like all your people barely getting a couple levels deep, that's when you know that you're probably not doing your job with like digging deep into your organization. I used to drag people, like I said before, I used to like handhold. Now I work with the working. I meet people where they are at. I still check in with my walkers and joggers in this business, people who want to make a little bit of money. I don't get them on calls or anything, like mentorship calls. I don't do that with them, but I refer them to resources that would help them. I still check in with them. I make sure that they're keeping their health and fitness journey focused in the challenge group, you know? And we even have like a walker, jogger, runner bat. So I had my virtual assistant take the business activity tracker and turn it into a walker, jogger, and runner. And I gave that to Izzy too, if you guys want to see that. But so I just meet people where they are at. I work with my runners hardcore. I pour my heart and soul into them and all my time. And I used to have an unsteady income because of all this, of what I used to do. And now because I've changed my focus, my income is much more strong. So my income, even from last year, has gone up $50,000. By the end of this year, I will have made $50,000 more than last year because of my shift in focus now, the last 6 months to 1 year. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of skim through these a little bit, but some leader producing activities, like things that you can do to really help this along. Make sure that you guys use your new coach training that you already have. Do not reinvent the wheel with that. You know, maybe just copy and paste what Izzy has in the future, but just use what Izzy has, use what your upline coach has. But it's very action focused. I get them to, you know, crush comfort zone things, like going live in our team page. I mean, that's a whole other thing, but I make sure that they know that Diamond is simple, you know, like it's all about helping people, getting your first wins. And speaking of first wins, I never used to focus on the master list, AKA warm market people, your friends and family, acquaintances, people you went to high school with. I have all my coaches now and their coaches' coaches focus on creating their 100+ person master list. So basically when they start as a coach, they write down all of the people they've ever come in contact with in their life. So I have them go through their phone contact list, their high school yearbook, their college friends, people they go to church with, people that they did gymnastics with or dance with or soccer with when they were younger. Little side note, 80% plus of my diamond coaches, 1 stars, 2 stars, are people that were on my master list. One of them is someone I lived next door to when I was 6. Another 2 of them I did gymnastics with when I was 10. We lost touch for 20 years, basically. And they're my ride or die people. Remember when I said that like your friends will stick around? Like when you grow friendships with people, they will be so loyal to you that even when life gets hard for them, they will stick around for you. That's what my girls are. They're like in it to win it. They're with me. Another one of them I waitressed with back in 2011 in college. And yeah, I mean, those people that will stick around, they're from your master list. Even you guys listening right now, like make sure you've done that for yourself because a lot of your top people will be from that. So many new coaches start this business and they rely solely on social media, but new coaches don't have the skill set or the confidence to grow on there. So that needs to happen simultaneously, but it's super important for anyone to tap into their master list because that's where you're going to find a lot of your top people. I do a weekly new coach Q&A chat, and I'm sure you can assume that I don't do that really ever. I delegate that to my diamonds and my up and coming diamonds and my 1 stars and 2 stars. That's another leadership thing. How can I delegate? How can I like have my girls cultivate their leadership skills? So I do that sometimes every Monday night. It's just a Zoom call like this. New coaches who have started in the last 3 months anyone in the downline can hop on. And my girls love that. My girls love doing that too, because it really just builds their leadership skills. And then I also have a private message group thread on Facebook with my new coaches, and then anyone who's like in it to win it, building this thing to a full-time income. I have like 2 separate private group message threads for that. And empower, okay, this is kind of what I said before earlier, but like think of anything that you can do to get your people to grow their confidence, because when people grow their confidence, that's when they like step into like wanting to build a team. So, you know, having them go live in the team page, talking about one of their strengths in the businesses or what's been going really well for them. When they start as a brand new coach, like have them introduce themselves to the team, talking about like why they joined, what their goals are, a little bit about who they are. They could run a team call. Maybe they could post what's the, oh my gosh, why can't I think of this? The National Wake Up Call. Like maybe they could post that post every Monday, like just giving them some like leadership tasks to do. Maybe they could host a live power hour. If you guys do that weekly, we do it once a week, and I never run that. I have my up-and-comers do that just to cultivate their leadership skills. Just delegate, delegate, delegate. Make sure you're doing that stuff to gain your leadership skills, but make sure that you are looking at up-and-coming potential and like putting them in the spotlight, because that's going to be the only thing that really grows them. Recognize people, big and small. Just blow that up in the team page and your Instagram stories. Recognition is huge. And constant encouragement. When a new coach gets started, you yourself as a leader have to remember that a new coach basically has to have encouragement. Like you have to breathe belief into them before the personal development can kick in. So I call these new coaches phase 1 coaches and phase 2 coaches. Phase 1 coaches are people who just start, right? Like they're people who just got started. They have very high confidence, like excitement. They have very high excitement, but low skill set. Like they don't know anything, but their excitement kind of trumps that. Like they don't really care that they don't know everything, like because their excitement is just making them confident. But then like a couple months, 3 months into the business, or even 1 month into the business, their excitement is lowering and their confidence is lowering because their skill set is still low. And so this is like a very dangerous place for new coaches, and you as a leader have to remember these phases with your new coaches. You have to be able to identify what phase these coaches are in, because when a coach has low skill set and then their excitement is lowering because they're getting those no's, maybe they've had their naysayers, you have to like step up and do whatever it takes to like breathe belief into them, point them into the direction of the personal development that's going to help them through that time. Assign like you know, have them run a live power hour, recognize them, like just really focus on that person to help them get through that phase 2 so that they can go into phase 3. And I'm not going to talk about those, but I'm just going to talk about like those first 2 phases. It's just super important. You as a leader like has to do your part in helping them through that phase. It's not your job to save people, but you have to make sure that you are identifying people and like really helping them through that. No, oh my gosh, number 6, one-on-one mentorship calls, like star this thing. These calls are everything. And I do these with consistent action takers who want to make an income. So I don't do this with walkers or joggers. I don't do this with people who want to make less than a full-time income, because they don't need me. They have our team page. They have the trainings in our team page. They have the Rock the Basics training. Like they have everything they need. And this is like as black and white as I can make this. And I can share some of these resources with Izzy. But what I do is every month now I do a Leave the Nest internship, and I help cultivate like 3 people's businesses during a 30-day period. So This is probably going to look a little bit differently for you guys just starting out, because a lot of you are Emerald coaches, so this is a little bit different, but this is more down the line for you. But right now, I just want you to like look at whoever you have right now. If you have any business builders at all, and you're an Emerald coach, which most of you are on this call, utilize Izzy. Utilize your upline coach if that's not Izzy, so that you guys can do calls together, you know, for your coaches. Just really make sure that you are doing mentorship calls with your business builders. So identify who those people are in your business and then get on mentorship calls with them. I do 1 call a week for 4 weeks, and I have it structured. So I'm going to show you like this checklist, and I'm going to show you like the self-evaluation that I send people before I hop in this call so that I know exactly how to help them. I don't expect this to make a whole ton of sense to you guys, but I just wanted to share with you like what it is that I'm doing to help, you know, develop my people so that they can go and do this with their team, and their team can go and do this with their team. Like it just duplicates down. So what I do is I send this self-evaluation. And I mean, it's just basic questions. And I can send this to Izzy too. But it's what it is, just kind of figuring where they're at. So I do not get on a call with anyone who indicates a lot of no's on here, right? Like I will compliment them on their strengths, but then I will make sure that, you know, they go to work on their weaknesses before we can hop on a call together. So that's kind of what it looks like. And I can send that to Izzy. And then if someone joins, you know, they've indicated like they deserve my time basically, then we hop on, like I said, a call, 1 call per week for 4 weeks. And I just develop them. So this is my mentorship checklist. There's 4 weeks. Every week there's homework assignments. I make sure I know who I'm working with, what their target market is. Again, I can send this to Izzy. I need to know what their personality is, what they want, and when do they want it by? What are their fears? What are their mental obstacles? What are their passions? What is their strong leg? Like, how am I going to help them build a business? So a lot of it's mindset in the first week. A lot of it's mindset, like kind of showing them like how to build a successful business. I'm referring them to videos. I'm a huge video person. I refer people to videos of things that set their soul on fire. Like all I want to do is set their soul on fire. I don't care about the how-tos. I don't care about how to make your Instagram stories pretty. We'll cover that on week 5 through 8 plus. But in the first 4 weeks, I have to get their heart on fire. I have to know what makes them tick. I have to like get their mental obstacles out of the way so that they can be open to the how-to stuff, right? Because the how-to stuff will all fall into place when they have that fire in their belly and there is no fear on the table. So my job these first 4 weeks is to put them in front of all the resources. And I can also share with you, you know, with Izzy, what some of those videos are that I put my people in front of so that those videos do most of the work for me on during these 4 weeks. So yeah, just giving them homework assignments, pretty simple. So I'll share this with Izzy. I don't expect you guys to like take any notes from here specifically, but I think you guys are starting to see like the degree to which you need to kind of like take some ownership over your people so that they can leave the nest. That's why I called it Leave the Nest Internship. I don't want to call it Going Diamond Internship, because what happens if they don't go diamond in 30 days? Most people don't. And so they feel like a failure. I used to do Going Diamond internships, and I had a lot of people quit after those internships because they didn't grasp the big picture. They thought that this was like a going diamond or bust thing, and when they didn't hit it, they were so upset and they just quit. Where Leave the Nest, like they get the big picture. It's a long term. I'm going to show you how to do this business so that you can take this and do it with your people. And then you do it with them so much that they can do it with their people. Do you guys know what I mean by that? Like growing deep, like duplicating, showing them how to do it. Like all of this stuff I share with my team. Like everyone gets access to this. Okay. Notice how this is a loaded thing. Like still, I feel like I'm not touching a lot of things with mentorship, but a lot of it's mindset. A lot of it's like you making sure you are leading people the way they need to be led, making sure you know your people's personality type. That's huge too. I'm a Ruby personality, red. I think that's what you guys do. Izzy's a red. I can't talk to a pearl like I do with a ruby. Like, what is a pearl, Izzy? Is pearl like a blue on the white? Oh yeah, that would make sense, white. Pearl is the white color, yeah. So like, I can't talk to a white the way I talk to a red. You know, like you guys can see how I am. Like, I can't be this type of person to a pearl. I have to be a little bit more like calm, like don't pressure them, you know, like don't put them in the spotlight. Like on a team call, they would die. You know, like you have to know your people. So Personality Plus is a really good book. I cannot remember the author for the life of me. I think it's Florence something, but you have to know your people. You have to know what motivates them, how you talk to them. Yeah. So, okay. And I showed you the mentorship call template. So 3-way calls. So like, let's just take Sally, for example. There's Sally on here. Sally, I don't know if Izzy's your upline coach. I'm guessing she is, but like, no, she's not. I guess it doesn't really matter.
She's actually she's one of my coaches. She's like just beyond my downline. In fact, I'm having a call with Sally tomorrow, which is interesting since you said that.
Well, that's perfect. Like, let's just take that, for example, like Sally and Izzy. Like, let's say Sally has a coach prospect, someone who's like, hey, I want to work the business. And Sally's like, I really want to get her signed up, but I don't really know how. And this is like a go-getter person. Izzy would like get on a 3-way prospect call with Sally, and Sally would have the coach prospect call template. I don't know if you guys have that, but we have that on our team. And so Sally would just sit back and mute herself, like maybe introduce the prospect to Izzy on the 3-way call, but then Izzy takes over the call and she does the call for Sally, and Sally sits back and takes notes, sees how Izzy has her passion come across, how Izzy asks questions, how Izzy handles objections. And Izzy does that for Sally a couple of times. And then all of a sudden, Sally's like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit more confident now. Let's do it together. So you're going to see the I do it, we do it, you do it method. That's a John C. Maxwell method. I do it, we do it, you do it. Izzy shows Sally how to do that for a couple times. And then they do it 50-50 together a couple times. And then maybe Sally is like, I'm ready to do this by myself with you on it, Izzy. And Izzy will mute herself, and maybe Izzy might, you know, tell her story a little bit. But besides that, Izzy doesn't really do much on the call, and Sally runs it. And then at the end of the call, Izzy gives Sally feedback. And they do that a couple times. And before you know it, Sally's independent. And Izzy doesn't have to do those coach prospect calls with Sally anymore, because she's like, Izzy, I got this. I've seen it enough times. We've done it together enough times. I do that with my girls, with their coach prospect calls, with GSR calls, and with mentorship calls. So you can see how like, it's a little bit of work in the beginning, but when you've done it and shown your girls so much, they're good. And so it's kind of like you put in a lot of work in the beginning with those people so that you don't have to do any more work after a while with that person. And that's when they grow deep. So I hope that could make sense, but I do that with all of those calls: coach prospect, GSRs, mentorship calls. I think the chat thread is blowing up too. So think of this like a training wheel concept. You know, like you're not telling someone how to get to the lake. Like in this business, you have to tell your coaches like, okay, like I'm not going to tell you how to get to the lake. I'm going to take your arm and walk you to the lake. Like that's what you're doing with this business, with these calls, with this mentorship process. And yeah, to show people how to do things business, not tell them how to do things business. So ask yourself, where can you be showing your coaches more instead of telling them? And again, most of you are Emerald coaches on this call, so you are not going to do this by yourself. You're going to lean into Izzy, or you're going to lean into your upline coach, or maybe Izzy if your upline coach is MIA. Because that's what I'm kind of doing now. I'm working with Christina Solins now. She's a few levels above me, but it doesn't really matter. I help her volume. So she doesn't really care that I'm not her personally sponsored coach. She knows that when I have success, she has more success, right? So think of like you in the future, you're going to be a Christina and you're going to help people levels down who deserve your time so that they can go on to create their own beast of a business. I do like every 6 months a team-wide Dash to Diamond group. This is always good to like get some people to pop. I won't really go in depth on that too much. And yeah, I recognize a lot. What you want more of, recognize. So if you want your volume to grow, recognize volume. If you want more people to recruit coaches, recognize those who are recruiting coaches. Maybe do a giveaway every month. Like I did a personal development book this past month, Bath and Body Works gift card 2 months ago for the highest volume earner and the highest coach recruiter, you know? So just something like that, because it just shows your people what they want to focus more on. And some books to read, or like audiobooks, Build to Last, Anything by John C. Maxwell, and Go Pro by Eric Worre. There's a couple other books like How to Rock Your Network Marketing Business by Sarah Robbins, and Get Over Your Damn Self by Romy Newstad is really good. And then, okay, I have a couple other notes here. But yeah, just develop your people, spend time with them. The best thing that you can give your business builders is your time. So much so to the point that they're like, gosh, am I your only coach? Like, you are just giving so much to me. I love it. Yeah, like that. You're not like this on-call doctor, right? Like, set the boundaries, but you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get your business builders off the ground. What's up? What else? Another important thing is you cannot sugarcoat these calls. So on these mentorship calls, I help identify like their weaknesses. So if I get like, for example, if I have a person who is getting on these mentorship calls with me and I am just getting this really negative energy, this is a really just specific example, but they just are negative. They talk down to people in their posts. They just have this like negative energy. If I don't address that, hey girl, let's talk about this energy that I'm feeling from you. I'm feeling some negativity. What's going on there? Let's address that, because that's getting in your way of your success. That's a perfect example of you having to speak truth into people's lives. You have to tell them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Because if you only tell them what they want to hear, you are doing your people a disservice. If you're just blowing sunshine up their butt, that's doing people a disservice. You have to blow sunshine up their butt and tell them what they're doing right. But if you don't address what they're doing wrong or what they could do better, that is always going to hold them back from becoming what they want to become. And you yourself have to believe that they are going to become what they want to become. You're almost like seeing things in people that they can't quite see in themselves yet. And you almost see them as what they could be and what they will be and where they want to be before they even are that yet, or before they even like believe that they can get there. You kind of like have to have this posture about you on these calls, because they can feed off of that confidence and that belief that you have in them, or lack thereof. So that's really important as well. But Sabrina's a really perfect example of how I had to tell her what she needed to hear, not what she wanted to hear. She never smiled with her teeth. She like used to hide behind her phone because her confidence was so low. And one day, you know, after the Success Club trip a couple of years ago, you know, I was with her on that trip and she was laughing all the time and smiling all the time. And she has the most gorgeous smile in person. And I'm like, Sabrina, you have the most gorgeous smile. And I saw it in person. Like, why aren't you doing that in your posts or in your videos? And I could tell that she was like really sensitive by it. Sabrina's a pearl. So I have to like be very careful about how I say things to her and how I ask her things, because she's very sensitive. And her and I used to work together. We're very good friends. So that's how I've gained that trust. I've earned that trust to be able to speak truth into her life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why building a relationship and friendship with your people is so important, because you're able then to speak truth into their life. So I brought that up to her, and she started to implement it, to practice smiling. She would like make herself laugh before she took the picture because it felt so awkward to her. But after so much practice, it started to become normal. Like, look how cute she is with smiling with her teeth. And even her followers said something to her. And it was at that point that she then came to me and said, Brooke, thank you so much for telling me what I needed to hear, because that was the one thing that was holding my business back and my self-love. And because you said that and I put it into action, the floodgates have opened and her business then blew up. So that's like a really perfect example that was so hard for me to say to Sabrina. Like, how do you even say that to someone? Like, change your smile, because people can like sense that you're holding back and that you have no confidence in yourself. But I had to, because like, in order for people to want to join her, people want to join a confident person. People don't want to join a not confident person. They just don't, because people want to become more confident. So is a non-confident person going to get them there? No. So yeah, that was probably one of the hardest things I've had to do, but it was game changing inside and outside of this business. That's a whole other mentorship example, but I'm not going to go in depth with that. Let me look at the chat thread. Loaded topic. Am I right, you guys? Oh my God.
It's incredible. Literally, I don't even think we've ever had such an incredible call. Like, I think most of us, our brains are just popping. You're just amazing, Brooke. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's hard to put it into like this flow, because there's so much to this topic. It's so loaded, and a lot of it is mental for me. A lot of it's like energy, and most people think these mentorship calls are like meant to sculpt their social media page. And yes, that's important, but that's not what these calls are for. These calls are merely to grow their confidence a little bit. They're still like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but they're not scared anymore. They're confident, and they've seen like how to do things. During these 4 weeks together, I'm like doing calls with them, for them. And so it just kind of like progresses them and eases their fears a little bit. Let me look at the chat thread. Oh my goodness. Awesome.
We had a couple of questions about the fluffy books that you'd advised, but I think that came later on in the presentation. That's what you just shared, wasn't it?
Yeah, those are the non-fluffy stuff. So like like books like that are super important, like network marketing books, leadership books. Okay.
Can you see the questions all right, Brooke?
Yeah. Yep. So I'll share. Let me write down and I can always write.
I've just shared the runner, walker, and jogger bat straight into our team page, guys. So that's all in there. And then I think that was it the mentorship questionnaire and the guide for the homework would be amazing. I'm not sure whether that was in one of the resources you already sent me, but if you wouldn't mind sending it again, that would be amazing, because there was a lot.
Yes.
For which I'm really grateful, but it'd just be amazing to have it kind of fresh so I can share.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I'll just send you guys all my stuff.
Thank you so much. Seriously, yeah. It's just, I think all of us, it's an eye-opener, and I think it's really interesting as a leader, you know, being where I am, and I know like some of you guys are similar page, or some of you guys are slightly behind. It's, you know, this is kind of stuff that I'm working out through the passage of time, but it's taking me time. And I looked at that slide and I thought, oh, I'm kind of moving more to the right, but it's great for you guys to be able to learn this now, because then it's not going to have to be a process, you know. And it's just invaluable what you've shared. Seriously, it's just mind-blowing. It's amazing.
Good. Oh my God, you guys are so sweet. I'm like reading through this chat thread and I'm like, holy shit. You guys are so sweet. I think that's me getting people to join in. I'm not getting a lot of interest on my Instagram, but no join-ins. Nerissa, I wish I could give you like some tips on that, but that's a loaded thing. Like, I wouldn't really know how to answer that. I'd more so like have to see your energy and like how you show up on your page and like your conversations, right? Like how you're talking to people. I bet you anything, Narissa, you're blowing it in conversations. Everybody does. A lot of people don't know how to ask the right questions. You know, a lot of people don't even ask questions. A lot of people word vomit to their people. Network marketing and like conversations is definitely an art, and it's all psychological. Like basically when you like tap into the psychological part of things with conversations, you win. You will get them signed up if they are ready. But some of my girls, I mean, they'll bring people to me who were so excited to join my coach, and then somehow my coach blew it because they said the wrong things. I love the quote, like, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, but you kind of can at the same time too. So like, I help my girls like through that process because it's so funny. I'm like, how did you blow this? But here's why. Here's how you did. let's fix this. Let's repair this conversation. So that's why your upline coach will be great, Narissa. Like whether that's Izzy or your upline coach, like, and make sure, Narissa, you're doing personal development books that are geared around conversations too. And that's just for everybody too, not just her. What questions am I missing here? Izzy, do you see a lot?
Let me just have a look. Someone's just said it, you said it took you 2 years to make this a full-time business. Is there one thought that you used as either consistent motivation and or a repetitive affirmation?
Ooh, like just what I would say out loud to myself, basically?
Yeah, to kind of get yourself there.
Yeah, I just always like talk to myself as if I had what I had, or as if I had what I wanted. Like, so I wanted to pay off my debt. I would always say I paid off my $50,000 of student loan debt, even if I was nowhere near it. If I wanted to be a 15-star diamond, which I used to be, I would say I have a huge team and I'm a 15-star diamond coach, even if I wasn't a diamond yet. You know, like I just always knew that had to be a belief and something I visualized before I made it happen. Anything I've ever achieved in this business, I visualized first. So when I wanted to quit my full-time job, I would every morning or whenever picture me handing in my 1 month notice to my boss. Like I pictured for a good year every day what that was going to feel like, what that looked like. Like I would daydream about it. And what was so awesome is that when it happened, it was everything I visualized. It was amazing. So I can't speak highly of that enough. Talking through, oh yeah, an earlier question, talking through objections, yeah. Objections is important. With objections, you wanna make sure you're asking people questions. Honestly, I can help people get through objections solely by asking questions. Like honestly, I don't really say much. Let's see.
Someone's asked about your script, which I'm going to share on our team page now.
Oh yeah, the add-on script.
Challenge pack add-ons.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that one's so good.
Yeah.
Because you guys, I don't know if you know this, but a challenge pack is only 35 team volume. Energize by itself is 38. So like you get more team volume for Energize by itself than a challenge pack right now. So that kills your volume long term if you're just selling challenge packs all day long. Like you can't just be challenge pack or die because it'll kill your volume. And when you do a challenge pack, make sure you add on those 3 add-on products, whatever is your favorite or whatever would fit them best for their goals.
Yeah.
And use that script.
Can I ask you one question, Brooke?
Yeah.
Just because I'm doing a lot more like calls with my girls. Obviously, I've got a lot of builders, and obviously trying to give them more of my time and actually like building less on like Success Club and my own volume at the moment. I'm kind of focusing more on them. And I know Keith Callahan in his book Built to Last says like I have one day of the week where I just focus on my calls with my team. Is that what you do?
Yeah, I do like once a month a team call with my team, and then every Monday there's that new coach Q&A chat that I'll hop on. But besides that,
like the one-on-one mentorship calls, do you just put them in one day and write that day off, or?
No, I do it every day. You
Yeah,
can
'cause
do,
that's what I do at the moment.
yeah, you can do whatever you want. Like, I used to do like 6 calls a day, and that absolutely was not good because then I was neglecting my phase
Yeah.
one. Yeah. And you guys, what's really cool is like after a while, if your goal is to make a lot of money with this thing, that's amazing. You will get to this point after a long time. Like I'm not just gonna say this and have you be like, oh, 1 year from now, like I can do this. But the goal is in 3 years for your daily activities to not really dictate your success anymore. Like the goal is for you to be able to like do other things. Like if something happened to your family, you could take a month off. Like that's the beauty of network marketing, the residual income. But you have to work really hard to get up to that point. But what's really important too is that you never get out of phase one. So now, like, I don't have to invite you guys. Like after 4.5 years making well over 6 figures now, like I don't have to invite, but I still want to be in the trenches. I think that's another important thing. I never want to be that leader that isn't doing what I'm telling my people to do, at least just a little bit, you know? So I'm always going to be recruiting coaches. I'm always going to do what I want my people to do, even if it's just minimal. That's super important after a while, too. I know that doesn't apply to a lot of you guys right now, but just long term, just always remember that. Be in the
And
trenches.
if you weren't on the call that I did with Brooke, it was interesting because, you know, when we're building, this is like something that I say to my guys, like if you want to sprint, then you need to be kind of like all over your stories all the time. You want to be the first person like popping up. You want to be right up there because that's where you're going to grab everyone's attention when they come in. And Brooke was saying, well, I'm not in that phase anymore. So Izzy's like, she's omnipresent because that's how she's building right now. But that's not me anymore. And I look at Brooks and I'm like, I just can't wait for the day. So that's me.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I love that you bring that up again, Izzy, on this call, because that's really important for your girls to know, because so many coaches look at other top coaches and they like idolize them and they try to copy them. But it's really important to note that a lot of top coaches who have been in this for a while, they're not really in building phase anymore. Like they're still attracting people, but they're not 10xing things in building phase like they used to. And so you can't, like as a new coach, you can't do what Lindsay Matway does and like have success. Like years ago, Lindsay Matway was where you were and like doing massive call to actions and like doing a lot of the hefty stuff. I'm not at that point anymore. I'll kind of tip over if I recruit too much. Like I used to be like Izzy. Izzy is a mini me. I was Izzy when I was year 1, year 2, year 3 of my business. But now if I'm like Izzy, where I'm a recruiting machine, I will tip over. So you will get to that point where you can kind of take your foot off the gas, but that's years from now, few years from now. It will go by fast, but it's a fun thing to look forward to. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. You guys are so awesome, seriously. I
We're
love this.
so grateful for your time, seriously.
You guys are awesome. We talked about PD, an abundance mindset. Oh my gosh, that is such a good one. Oh my gosh, abundance mindset is everything, you guys. I actually have, I think I have a YouTube video about this, but that's everything. Like if you're functioning from the scarcity mindset, or like you don't feel worthy of having a large team, you're just never going to create it. Like you're only going to create what you visualize and tell yourself in your mind. So, do you have people who maybe don't want to do the workouts but just want to use Shakeology? Absolutely. And you guys, Shakeology by itself is 90 TV. A challenge pack is 35 TV. Shakeology by itself is 90. Woo! Holy crap, right? Gosh, I wish I could just sell Shakeology all day long. Okay. Yeah, Izzy, yeah, it's Danielle Natoni's gut checklist from leadership.
Okay, because we've
Yep.
got that one, but I love what you'd done and put it in a questionnaire. And actually, it was so interesting because I was talking to some of my builders the other day about who was it? Someone had been talking about. It was in one of the UK diamond pages. They were talking about doing a questionnaire to send your leaders before you talk to them, which I think is exactly what you've got there. So it would be amazing to see that questionnaire.
Yes. Yeah. yeah, it just helps you to see like who's just telling you lip service and who's actually willing to put in the work. Yeah. Okay, I'm almost through these. Seriously, I love your compliments, you guys. Thank you for that. Elizabeth, I'm glad to hear that it was an eye opener. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, you guys are, a lot of you are emeralds, and so you, and a lot of my girls are emeralds. Like, I also want you guys to know too that a lot of, you don't need a lot of builders to build this business. Like, most of your people are going to be emeralds, you know, like people who don't really reach diamond. Maybe they're your best customers. They're your ride or die chicks with the customer, with the products, you know, like whenever a product launches, they're always on it, but they're never going to build a business. No matter what, like that's okay. You know, that's totally okay. And it's really good stuff for you to hear early on. I wish I would have heard this call when I first started as an emerald coach so that I could build my business a little bit differently. And maybe I did hear this stuff a long time ago separately, and it just didn't really click for me though. You know, sometimes we have to hear things when we're ready for them, and that's when it'll click. Okay, I think.
I'm going to be like, I'll be cornering you at leadership, Brooke. You better watch out.
You're so cute. I can't wait to is it Tasha?
Yes. Yeah.
You said it took you 2 years to make this a full-time business. Is there one thought that you used? Oh, that was it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, in the script. Awesome. Have you read Super Life? I read like half of it and then I stopped reading it because I got distracted by something else. But I need to finish that book. Normally that's not me. Normally I don't read half of the book and then stop, but yeah. Any other questions, you guys?
We could probably ask you questions all night, but you've literally given up so much of your time already. And I mean, my brain is popping. So I'm sure all of these guys that were sort of almost, I'm never stunned into silence, but I feel like I am today.
I feel like my head hurts.
Yeah, it honestly was so grateful. It's invaluable.
Well, I just want to leave you guys with this, that if you're on this call that tells you that you have what it takes, like you wouldn't be on here if you didn't see yourself becoming something in this business, like whatever that something is for you, like just know that you can make it happen and just be the person that your upline is for you, you know, or if you don't have an upline, like be like me, create what you didn't have. You know, that was me with my team. I wanted to create what I did not have, and so that my girls could be really grateful and duplicate that on. So hope you guys can take this, and I'll send over some resources for you too.
Thank you so much, Brooke. I'm kind of speechless aside from just saying it's the most valuable call we've had. So thank you so much.
So much,
for up the time.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys.
Can we do a boomerang?
Oh yeah.
We've just got so many girls on here. It's I'm sure there's a few of them that want to take one, if you don't mind.
Heck yeah.
Just remembered like last minute. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
I love boomerangs.
Thank you so much, Brooke. Have a lovely Sunday.
I'll see you in like 11 days.
I know. See you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.